So what are some signs that you could be a Sirian Starseed? In this video, we're going to explain 3 signs that you might be one, the purpose of them, personality traits, abilities, and a few other things as well. So through self-discovery and self-realization, the soul awakening of Starseeds happens, and ultimately you will step more into your mission on Earth, and this will help you with what you came here to do. So our planet's actually undergoing a consciousness evolution right now, and since the entire planet kind of works like a giant organism, our collective consciousness is taking that shift as well. So most people are actually unaware of these changes, but if you're watching this video, the chances are that you feel like you might be a Starseed, and you're probably thinking maybe you're a Sirian Starseed, or you at least want to know more about them. So we'll discuss the origin of Sirian Starseeds, the purpose, and their personality traits. So Sirians are conscious beings who connect with the Earth from the Sirius star system. It's one of our nearest celestial neighbours, and it's actually a binary star system made up of Sirius A, the home of the Sirians, and Sirius B, home of the water elementals. So many scholars actually believe that the Sirians seeded humanity on Earth through the Great Experiment, through combining their DNA with that of Earth's primates. This basically makes them the creators of the human race, and their star system the home of humanity's ancestors. The reason that the kind of Great Experiment still seems a mystery right now is that it's believed to have sparked the human evolution cycle. What Sirians refer to as the Great Experiment, humans seem to refer to as one of the myths of creation. Whatever the reason is, Sirians are now guiding humans on a different path of evolution, a more spiritual one. So the Sirians use their massively vast knowledge and wisdom to help the Earth transition to a higher vibrational plane. Many of the Sirian light beings and light workers focus their energy on Earth's ascension. So this is to help inhabitants connect with the source energy, and they're also aware of the physical limitations that they have in this 3D space. So this is a reason that if you are a Sirian Starseed, you will feel like you're limited by your physical body, but don't let that put you off. That's just one of the normal signs that you might be a Sirian Starseed. So like many other Starseeds, Sirians incarnate on Earth through a soul contract, a special type of agreement that gives you a mission and a higher purpose, kind of like a reason for incarnating on Earth. So what does a Sirian Starseed look like? Although it might seem complicated and a bit of like a contradictory statement, Sirian Starseeds view themselves as really simple. And in some form they kind of are, but there's a logical reason behind their action. So before we dive into the personality traits, let's just briefly discuss what they look like. Sirian Starseeds don't actually differentiate from human physiology. They look the same as a human body in this 3D world. Their traits are usually exhibited through their actual personality traits, so they don't necessarily look any different. They do tend to be, however, more physically agile than the average human. So although they can feel limited in their physical body, they're still usually much more agile physically than the average person. Almost like a cat. The other interesting thing to note is that usually Sirians have like a bluish tint to their skin, and they also resonate with the color blue, and they have a very well developed throat chakra. So it can explain why they understand, different languages. They're good at learning languages, communicating, articulating, because that's where they resonate from. So now let's get on to what Sirian Starseeds are actually like. What are the personality traits of a Sirian Starseed? So like we've said, they are a kind of mixture. When it comes to personality traits, they're usually well balanced, very calm, composed individuals. They're not usually going to be the type of person to react emotionally to something. They're normally going to be very calm, logical, have inclinations towards left brain like maths, physics, this kind of thing. And these personality traits usually start being shown in early childhood. And this is very important. And Sirian Starseeds also tend to be very rapid learners. So this is very left-brained, logical, critical thinking, this kind of thing. Because of these things, they can also tend to be like a geeky or kind of nerdy outsider, almost like a loner. Not always, but this is, what they tend to lean towards. Interestingly, another personality trait of a Sirian Starseed is that they have a pretty unique view about socializing and relationships, in which the distance between the people and the time frames don't matter so much. They're more likely to have a long-term and long distance relationship with their friends or partners. They can go long periods of time without seeing people, without hearing from their best friend even, and then when they do start talking again, it's almost like no time has passed at all. So here are a few more personality traits and signs that you might be a Sirian Starseed. So they tend to have incredibly strong willpower and have a really strong developed character. kind of like truth-loving, kind, gentle, and sensitive, but they're also balanced, calm, and composed. It's pretty tough to derail a Sirian Starseed, to, throw them off or make them react emotionally. They also tend to be lone wolves. They tend to like individual pursuits, being on their own, solitude, and that kind of thing. As we've said, they're very well balanced and hardworking. They've mastered the balance between their left and right brain hemispheres, and that definitely manifests in the fact that they're very intellectual, but also able to connect with their emotions as well. So it's very interesting to consider whether you might be a Sirian Starseed. Now, I actually did write a very long blog post about this on my website, astralhq.com, which you can find in the description, and it kind of compares the different Starseed types. But beyond that, you can also, there's different ways you can go with this. Okay, you can research more, watch some more of our videos on our channel, and make sure to subscribe, because we do post weekly videos about spirituality, Starseeds, the pineal gland, and all of these types of things. I would also strongly recommend that you get a free numerology report. And this is like a personalized video. The one that I really am very impressed with, I've linked in the description. And it's a free personalized video which will explain much more about your details, your life path number, and it kind of helps to build a better, more accurate picture about you as a person and a soul. So check that out, leave a comment, and I'll see you next time.